There we go. Just make sure we can be heard here. 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah, we should be good to go now. We should be good to go now. Let me turn this music down a little bit. What y'all think about the new background music? What y'all think about the new background music there? Anyway, the Brother Man has returned. My name is George Jackson, aka the Brother Man, and what I like to do, I'm going to share with you trending credit articles that are making big headways, making big news. They're trending on Google that I know that you'll be interested in, especially if you're interested in fixing your credit or maintaining or building good credit. You want to pay attention to these articles. And this article is entitled Common Questions People. Oh, me, what did I do here? Common questions that people have Googled. And they list 4 common questions that people have Googled. Go ahead and give me a like and a share. Comment down below. If you hear me all right, let me know if you like the beat. Let me know in the comment section there. Let me know what you think some of these common questions are that people are Googling about credit. Let me know. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Let me share this article here. We'll do this. So as you see, we've got an article from live5news.com or WCSC. I believe that's in South Carolina, looks like. Charleston, South Carolina, actually. And a number of other sources have had this same article, Common Credit Questions People Search on Google. And this is basically what this comes from a Forbes advisor. Analyze thousands of credit-related search questions to see what is Googled the most. And before I get to let me know what you think these questions may be. Is it about the score? Is it about how to fix your credit? Let me know what you think might be some of these good questions. And right as you see there, part of this this video here is giving it away. What is a good score? Yet, what is a good score was the most Google credit-related question. It didn't give a time frame from it, but it said listen thousands of credit-related search items. This was the most Google question. What is a good credit score? So what do you think is a good credit score? Is it 500, 600, 700, 800? Let me know what you think is a good credit score in the comments. Is it 500, 6, 7, 750, 810, 630? So if you said something in the 700s, you'd be right. If you said something in the 800s, you definitely would be right. Most scoring models have a good credit score being between what they call good is between 670 and 639. Some scoring models may say 700 to 750. I think they consider 680 and above to be prime. So pretty much anything 680 and above is going to be a good score. Your 800 is going to be an excellent score. So anything above 680, you good. It's going to be a good credit score. And that was the most Google credit question according to this article. Now, if you look in the description of this video, it says I'm going to talk about these 4 questions, but also how the My Credit system will relate to this. The My Credit system is an online do-it-yourself repair system that walks you step by step on how you can go from a poor credit score to an excellent credit score. How you can remove negative items such as repos, collections, charge-offs, bankruptcies, whatever you can think of. How you can dispute them and get them removed from your credit report using the dispute process outlined through the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So this is all covered in that system. The system teaches you and empowers you how to go from a poor score to a good score. And it tells you pretty much the same information. Anything above a 680 is a good score. But what I learned about from the system, I'll tell you one thing I learned about the system from the system is that what comprises of your credit score. How do they calculate your credit score? What do you think? How do they calculate your credit score? You see, what I didn't know before the system is that your credit score is comprised of 5 different components. It's payment history, credit card utilization, new credit, types of credit, and the length of time of each credit item, the length of the payment history. So those 5 items are all comprised, but the 2 biggest out of those categories, those ingredients, the 2 biggest are your payment history and your credit card utilization. And so obviously your payment history is just the history of you paying your bills on time, whether or not you pay your bills on time. And if you've got a good long history of paying your credit items off on time, you're more likely to have a good score. Now, what a lot of people love about my system is that, things have happened. They might have had a medical collections resulting from some insurance error or whatever, or they might have just had personal situations where they've had items going to collections and charge-off status and delinquent status. And they come to this system and they learn how to dispute those items and possibly get them removed from their credit reports. And getting those negative items removed from their credit reports is going to improve and help you get a good score. So if you can clean up your payment history, you can see an increase in your credit score. It helped me remove 5 collections from my credit report. So, and this is regardless of whether you paid them or not. If you have a collection and you paid, you're still going to want to dispute it using the system, because that item is still going to hurt you for 7 years. And you don't want that. You want to go ahead and clean up your payment history as quick as you can. This system will help you do that, and it will help you get a good credit score. Also, this system taught me how people can give most 9-to-5 workers can give themselves a pay raise at their job by filling out and adjusting your W-4 form. Doing so, many people can give themselves an actual raise and take-home pay, and now you can take that extra money and put it towards not something new, not something extravagant, not some unnecessary purchase. No, put it towards your credit card utilization. Get that thing down below 10%, as close to 0 as you can. It's very minimum below 30. You do that, you'll start to see an increase in credit score. And my credit system will help you do that. I'll show you before we end this live what it teaches you. Let me see if we have any comments here. No, can't pause. All right, so let's go to the number 2 credit most searched item. What is APR, or annual percentage rate? So a lot of people want to know what annual percentage rate, and that's basically the amount of interest you pay each year on borrowed money. So you definitely want to pay attention to that, because that's something that can vary. You read about interest rates going up through the Fed interest rates. Well, when the federal interest rates go up, your APR and everything else is going to go up. So, but that was a number 2 common question. Now, number 3 common question that was Google: how to build credit. Now, it mentions a CFPB article. We may take a look at that, but There's a lot of ways of good credit, but basically what you're going to need to do is establish some trade lines. If you're starting off, you're going to want to start your own trade lines. A lot of times your first purchase, like your car, until your cell phone bill, um, stuff like that. You want to make sure you make those payments on time. But a lot of times your major purchase, like a car, an apartment, um, there's actually programs where you can get stuff like your cell phone bill or your utility payments or your apartment rental reported to your credit report as payment history. Doing so will help you to build some of the credit. Obviously, paying your car note on time, stuff like that will help. But if you're starting off, you're going to want to here's a couple good ideas that I would recommend that I personally use. Secure cards, because you're not going to get denied because you're putting your own money up. But after time, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, they'll convert those secure cards. If you maintain good payment history, they'll convert them to regular cards and give you higher credit limits. Right. And then another thing is a self-lender loan. The self-lender loan is kind of like a glorified savings account. The bank sets up a CD, they loan you the money into the CD, and you make payments on that. And when you make payments, it gets reported to the credit bureaus. And when you fulfill the obligation, usually the loan's about a year, 18 months, no longer than 2 years, I think. When you fulfill the obligation, they give you the money. So you accomplish two things. You build good credit and you establish a emergency fund. A lot of people say, I can't save my money. I don't know how to get the money to save. Well, that's a good way to do it. It's using a self-lender loan. So doing those things, you can build good credit. You can start off with the secure cards and upgrade to better cards down the road. But you definitely want to make sure that you continue to make good payments and keep your credit card usage down below 10%. Number 4, what is the highest credit score that you can get? Now, a lot of that depends on what scoring model you use. Generally speaking, it's 850. That's the highest credit score. Generally speaking, it's the highest credit score is 850. Some may have 839. So it just depends on the scoring model. But so anything in the 800s, you are doing excellent. You're doing a wonderful job with your credit. You're in a position to do big things if you're in the 800s, especially if you're close to 850. That's like the perfect score. So those are the first 4 most Google credit questions. What is a good score? What is APR? How to build credit? And what is the highest credit score that you can get? Now, this article mentioned some other articles. So let's see what the CFPB recommends about building good credit, and I'll share that with you. All right, so here's the CFPB's recommendation on how to get a good credit score. They say pay your loans on time every time. They even recommend doing an automatic payment so you don't forget. Don't get too close to your credit limit. They say do not max out your credit cards. They say advise not to go more than 30% of your credit total limit. Your total credit limit. You'll see, I usually recommend 10%, but yeah, 30%, you're going to see a dip in the credit score if you use up more than 30% of your credit card balance. Long credit history will help you score. So the longer you keep good payment history, the better your score will be. Now here's another. Let me make sure this doesn't sit. All right, so here's another tip that doesn't get talked about a lot. Being an authorized user. Some cards will let you be an authorized user. If you get a family member or friend that has excellent payment history, they can add you as an authorized user, and you can start getting credit for their good payment history to show up in your account. So, of course, they don't have to give you a copy of the card. You don't need it. You just need access. You just need to be credited for the good payment history. Authorized user, that's another tip that'll help you build good credit. Number 3, CFPB says, we just talked about that. Number 4, only apply for what you need. You don't want to start. So every time you apply for a credit card or some sort of credit item, you get what's called a hard inquiry. Now, each individual hard inquiry doesn't hurt you much, but if you start getting a bunch of hard inquiries, your score is going to decrease. Also, if you are constantly applying for new credit over and over again, constantly, your future lenders or potential lenders are going to wonder what's going on with you. Why are you applying for all this stuff? What's going on with you? So you only want to apply for the credit that you need. You want to do the research before you apply, plan ahead, try to figure out what you may be qualified for before you apply, and how you're going to manage and pay that off. And number 5, they recommend fact check your credit reports. So where can you get your credit reports? You know where you can get your credit reports for free? You can get it to a website called annualcreditreport.com. That website will give you for free all 3 reports from your credit bureaus. And so you want to check those regularly. Why do you want to check your credit reports regularly? Why do you want to do that? Because obviously your life changes, so you may have things change on your credit report that you've done. You've applied for new stuff. You might have had stuff happen, and you've got some derogatory items on there. You need to see what's on there. But also, you need to check because companies are always having data breaches. Equifax just erroneously reported lower credit scores. I believe the spring of this year. They were reporting the wrong stuff. There was another auto lender affiliated with Hyundai, right? They were reporting inaccurate late payments on people's credit reports, and people were getting denied or having to pay higher interest because of these erroneous items on people's credit reports. So that's another thing you want to do. You want to fact check your credit reports. Let's stop sharing this. Let's look at the other article that was mentioned. Oh, that was just talking about annualcreditreport.com. So, how does this My Credit system help you with the answers to these questions? Well, obviously, I'm going to show you here. Give you a sneak peek tour of the My Credit system. It's a 6-step system. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. Step 1, you're going to learn how to pull your credit report. You're going to get all the resources to get your credit report. Whether you want to get your basic credit reports from annualcreditreport.com or how you can get a detailed FICO report from myfico.com. Number 2, you get video training and resources on how to freeze your secondary bureaus. What are secondary bureaus? Well, the 3 main bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, they have smaller companies that report to them. You can freeze those reports to help you be more successful in your credit disputes. You learned that in step 2. Step 3, we talk about why you got to check your credit reports for errors. This training right here covers that. It tells you what to look for, what identifies an error, and what you can do about it, which leads you to step 4. Start the dispute process. This video training, this step gives you the video training and the resources needed to go through the dispute process. You have the right to dispute any item on your credit report according to the law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This step teaches you how to do that. It gives you the credit dispute letters. It even has a create a dispute letter feature on there where you just put the data in and it spits out the letter. It tells you what letters to send, how to send them, when to send them, and where to send them. Which leads you to number 5, credit utilization. We talk about this. Well, it teaches you some practical steps on how you can get your credit card utilization from being near maxed out down below 30% where you need it. And how to build good credit. We talk about some of those credit loan builder programs, secure cards. It teaches you how you can add your rent payments to your credit report. So very valuable information. Of course, if you can Netflix and chill, you can learn how to fix your credit. If you can Netflix and chill, you can learn how to fix your credit. The actual video course is only 25 minutes. You can devote, just an hour or two in the afternoon to fixing your credit. And obviously, it's not going to be fixed within an hour or two. There's the guidelines and steps that you have to take. For example, like the first round of dispute letters takes about 30 days minimum to complete. But the actual printing and writing of the letters, you can do that 30 minutes to an hour. Go send them to the post office and keep on going with your day. So this is a very brief program, but within 30 minutes, you can learn how to fix your credit. You get the basics of what you need to know on how you can completely go from a poor credit score to an excellent credit score. Now, does this system work? I'm going to share. Let's look at a couple of did I just freeze?